Hello, and welcome to our video on what causes corruption in Africa. Corruption is a pervasive problem across the continent, with many countries consistently ranking low on global corruption indices. In this video, we'll explore some of the factors that contribute to corruption in Africa. One of the main causes of corruption in Africa is weak institutions. Many African countries lack strong, independent institutions that can effectively enforce the rule of law and prevent corruption. This can include weak judicial systems, poorly funded law enforcement agencies, and a lack of independent regulatory bodies. Poverty and inequality are also significant contributors to corruption in Africa. When people are struggling to make ends meet, they may be more likely to engage in corrupt activities to make extra money. Corruption can also perpetuate poverty and inequality by diverting resources away from public goods and services and into the hands of corrupt officials. A lack of accountability and transparency is another factor that contributes to corruption in Africa. When public officials are not held accountable for their actions, they may be more likely to engage in corrupt behavior. Similarly, when government processes and decision-making are not transparent, it can be more difficult to detect and prevent corruption. Political instability can also contribute to corruption in Africa. When governments are unstable, it can be more difficult to enforce the rule of law and prevent corruption. In addition, political instability can create an environment in which corrupt officials can act with impunity, knowing that there may not be consequences for their actions. Finally, a culture of impunity is a significant contributor to corruption in Africa. When corrupt officials are not held accountable for their actions, it can send a message that corruption is acceptable or even expected. This can create a vicious cycle in which corruption becomes more widespread and entrenched. In conclusion, corruption is a complex and pervasive problem in Africa, with multiple factors contributing to its prevalence. Weak institutions, poverty and inequality, lack of accountability and transparency, political instability, and a culture of impunity all play a role in perpetuating corruption. Addressing corruption in Africa will require sustained efforts to strengthen institutions, increase transparency and accountability, and address the root causes of poverty and inequality. Thank you for watching.